Buenos dias. My name is Jose Hernandez Jr. I'm going to tell you the story of my father. His name is Jose Alberto Hernandez. He was born in Mexico City, but he was raised in a small pueblo called Chavinda, Michoacan. As a boy, my dad liked to venture out into the wilderness and barrios with his friends, where they would look for lizards, play with bugs, and fight each other for fun. My dad got his first job at 12, helping his dad with construction. My grandfather was strict but caring. He told my dad once, people help you, but then you have to help yourself. You have to be self-sufficient. In September 1989, my dad was 20 years old and he decided it was time for him to leave home. So he got connected with a coyote so he could make his way to the United States. All he had with him was his bag of clothes. When he got to the United States, he went with his tío and tía, and they lived in Madera, California. The next day after he got to the United States, he would go straight to the work in the fields. After a while of living in Madera, my dad got bored because all over there was to do is go to work and the supermarket. Since my dad was young, he wanted to go out more. So he wanted to move to Dublin with a friend he made in the fields. In Dublin, my dad worked at a restaurant and lived in an apartment with about 8 people. He didn't live there long because his friend's uncle stole everybody's rent, so he had to find another place to stay. Sometime after, my dad went to a banda concert in Oakland. He met someone he recognized who was from his hometown. He asked him if he knew anyone had a place to stay. So he moved to Oakland with his friend. In East Oakland, my dad lived in 94th Street. This is where he met many of his friends. He met my Uncle Manuel. My Uncle Manuel would invite him to play games and stay over. One time, Manuel invited him to a family quinceañera. It was my Tia Maria's quinceañera. That is when my dad met my mom. After a while of getting to know each other, they would become a couple. My mom and her family moved to North Highlands, California. My dad stayed in Oakland though for a bit so he could work and get money. My grandma told him that he could move over to North Highlands with them. My parents got married in 1992, and that next year I was born. And in 2000 my sister was born. Meeting my mom and having us was his happiest moment of his life. He was lucky. For some, the American dream is just a dream. But for the most part, his dream came true. The story of my father is an example of how Mexican people move into this country to get opportunities they wouldn't receive back home. He started a family of his own, and we would visit our grandmother in Mexico también. My dad still misses Chavinda. He wishes he could go back, and one day he plans to take the whole family back so he could learn where he came from. This was my story on my dad. It tells us a lot about how Mexican people go through a lot of struggles just to get a better life. Learning more about my father and his struggles makes me appreciate more about what he went through. He's been through a lot. And like him, many Mexican people have, and they are still struggling today.